channel, and welcome back to another edition for Marvel Universe Chats with Matt. We would have been back sooner, but he still can't find his charger, and we've been living life a little bit.
The same time.
Considering it's pandemic-ish panorama. I don't know what we're calling.
Panorama? Is that what is it like fun times during the pandemic is the panorama?
Well, if you say pandemic, it gets you canceled, and they put all the COVID warnings on here, and that's no fun, so they have to refer to it in another way.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we didn't get canceled, but we are back to finally talk about Loki and Black Widow, like we mentioned. So, what did you think about Loki?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great that we had this great big story, this absolutely massive linchpin of a story going on in this very kind of quiet, subdued show. There's action in it, and it's, you know, it's a Marvel show, so it's got some really cool splashes and stuff like that, but a lot of it was all this, like, these talking scenes between Hiddleston and Wilson, and it was great. Mobius and Loki talking about what is, you know, predestiny, and do any of us actually have free will. I thought that was fascinating. I loved it.
It was amazing. I loved it. It's so, like, I think Marvel, as they talked about it, really hit the dismount on that one, because they said with Falcon and Winter Soldier, sorry guys, they didn't really nail the dismount on that, but it was more like, this is like, oh, we're gonna flip you into something else, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
there is a certain amount of truth to that. I saw a meme about that was pretty good, where it was just like, you know, here's Wanda at the end of WandaVision changing reality and doing weird stuff. Here's Loki at the end of Loki changing reality with all these big consequences, and like, and then there's Sam and Bucky at the end of their series, and it's just like fixing a boat. Like, that was it. That was all that happened. Though it was a fantastic series.
Yes. So at the end of Loki, we got the thing that says, "Hello, season 2 coming some point." How do you feel about that?
Excellent. It's awesome. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm looking forward to it. If they really want to do this big redemption arc for Loki, then he's not quite there, but he's almost there. And should we talk about the things that, like, people criticize about the show?
Sure. I was also going to have you talk about He Who Must Not Be Named.
No, that's Voldemort.
No. What's his name?
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains.
Yeah.
Which is unofficially Kang.
Which was awesome! Since we were watching Lovecraft Country, to see him show up as Kang was just awesome.
Yes, Jonathan Majors, applause.
All the way around. That was so very cool. Okay, so some of the criticisms. Loki falls in love with himself. My question is, who the heck else would he fall in love with? If anyone. Like, Loki's whole thing is like, it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters to him but him. So yeah, it does seem like a little creepy that he would fall in love with another version of himself. And actually, we don't even know if it's love. It could just be some advanced form of lust or self-recognition. Whatever. They kissed. Ugh. Have you done things in the dark with yourself that's worse than kissing? Like, it's just a, you know, whatever. So that made total sense to me. I had no problem with it. Yeah, I think it made sense.
Yes.
How about you? Did you like the Sylvie character?
I like the Sylvie character. I hope we see her again next season, along with finally getting a thing for Mobius.
Jet ski. It's called a jet ski.
You know, they all knew where I was going. Hopefully we see more Mobius. We probably won't see season 2 until sometime in 2022, as the way the...
Oh God, even if then. I got to imagine that it might be like 23 or even early 24 before we see it. I feel it because this sets up a couple of movies. And I think we need a few movies.
Maybe. Well,
I think 23. Realistically, I think 23.
Yeah, we're just seeing where it goes, but I mean, we're not gonna get it at the end of this year with the whole way things are panning out.
No way.
Because there was a prediction, if you saw the Marvel graphics, which brings up our... Should we talk about Black Widow first, or should we talk about...
One more thing to say about Loki.
Okay.
I went through the whole series expecting there to be one more double cross. Because it's, wait for it, about Loki. Now, the whole thing is that he will forever have multiple plans at work at the same time. That's him from Norse mythology, that is him in the comic books, that has been him in every single movie. I thought it was a little strange. Again, I have no problem with it. If they really want to complete the full redemption arc of Loki to turn him into a hero, which it sounds like they are, cool, I'm on board with that. I hope they do that in a way, though, that he doesn't lose his Loki-ness, for lack of a better term. I need there to be one more double cross. I thought there would be one more double cross at the end, honestly, where it was like Loki comes out of it again, not necessarily the villain and not necessarily the hero. And I was waiting for that, and that kind of never happened. So on one hand, I'm like a little bummed about that, but at the other, since we've got a season 2, there's still more of a chance. 100% fine with that. But I do feel like, man, you got to keep the Loki-ness of Loki. Like, where's the next honest to God, oh, you didn't expect this from the very beginning? Like, that's kind of his jam. I want that. Anyway, all right, so yeah. Black Widow, you're saying?
Yes, because Black Widow came out before the end of Loki, perfectly timed for now the Wednesdays. Now. Well, now they have the Wednesday thing, so they can go through and release all their movies on Friday.
Are you okay? You keep conducting and swatting flies in front of me. Calm down.
So we saw Black Widow. We found some gift cards. We saw it in theaters to its full majesty.
In that brief window of time when the world wasn't totally insane, we got to a theater.
Yes.
All masked up. Where there were like... It was the two of us and our friend, and then other than that, there were like, what, 2 people in the entire theater, and it was a big theater?
No, there were kind of a lot of people.
No, there wasn't.
Yes, there was. Our row was full.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, there was like skip seats, and then there was a whole family, and there were other people. It was half full in here. But, yes, I liked it because you find out where the Quinjet came from. That they were hanging out on, and what else?
And her jacket full of pockets.
Yes, her jacket full of pockets, and more about her family and how she was so calm about dying, and you know, she stopped talking about red in her ledger. How did you feel about it?
I like the fact that it was it felt like a Marvel movie, obviously, but it was much more brutal. And I like every single one of those fight scenes, even though they endured way more than a human ever should be able to, like you felt the punches a lot harder. All of the oofs, all of the falls, all of the crashes, the stabs, the shots, all of it. It just felt like there was more consequence to everything physical that happened, which I really liked.
There were also, like, as you could tell in some of the Marvel things that they mentioned is one of the criticism, that there are different, like, holes in that story.
Yeah, no story's perfect. I mean, look at any movie ever.
Yeah, but with all the delays, you can definitely tell that there are, like, holes in that story and things that you would need to fill in as far as, like, a slam dunk Marvel movie or a slam dunk movie. It was really good though. I liked how the end credit scene tied it back to the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing.
Yep, I like that. It seems like there's a little bit of a seed planted for Dark Avengers or Budget Avengers. I don't know what exactly they're going for, but...
Yeah, I wasn't going to spoil it, but since he did, and hopefully somebody has seen Black... If you're watching this, sorry, hopefully you've seen Black
anything I said
Widow
about
or
that was
spoilers. But yes, they're setting it up. You'll see Yelena again soon.
I like her. She was cool. But let's be honest. David Harbour. That guy is amazing. What I loved about it is that you had the scene with those 4 primary characters. And each one of those actors, honest to God, it felt like they were trying to steal the scene. And not because they were like, I'm the camera hog. Just because all 4 of them were that good. And David Harbour was just hilarious. I loved that dude. He had this weird way of being like the jovial, drunken uncle, and then all of a sudden it would switch and just be very dark for a moment. And he pulls off that switch so well. I thought that was great.
Yep. Amazing show. We talk about the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. How do you feel about that? I mean, I feel like Disney owes her money, not being just a girl and trying to take her side, but I was like, Disney has made some missteps in the past couple of years, and they're trying to like, oh, we're playing your game. We got you, audience. You are in this ringer. It's fine. I was like, and they're like, and Kevin Feige kind of sided with Scarlett, but I was like, really? If you were her boss, wouldn't you, if you had heard this talk about Disney releasing this movie in the theaters and in doing premiere access, wouldn't you have gone and been like, dude, I'm like, can we review this contract for my actor? And
like, yeah, her agents or the lawyers or
whoever,
whatever
the agents and whatever.
I would imagine this subject would have come up way first.
Yeah.
So there's the point of this is that there's a lot of confusing BS that we don't ever get to know, or at least that the general public will never take the time to get to know. So there's a lot of things. You could say like, you know, Kevin Feige really should have seen this coming. You could also say her agent and managers and legal team really should have seen this coming. Disney could have, anybody at Disney should have seen this coming. Scarlett herself should have seen this coming. And it's all correct. Every single one of them could have seen this coming. So in the end, like, what we get to know of as the audience and the fan is just the boiled down headline. Scarlett Johansson sues Disney. That's not 100% what's going on here. It's not like she was like, hey, wait a minute, I suddenly read my iTunes terms of service and I found something I don't like. It's like, no, this is this whole big thing with teams of people, and even Kevin Feige, as powerful as that man is not all of Disney.
Yeah, but he owns that section of Marvel.
He doesn't own it.
Or something.
He's a high mucky muck of it. Like, he does some big controlling. Yes, his words would say. But honestly, it's the numbers. And that's the only thing that would move the needle, especially at a company the size of Disney. I'm not saying that as a condemnation or as a benefit. It's just a thing. The numbers move it. So why did number crunchers not say anything? And if they did say anything, who didn't listen to the number crunchers? And that's from everybody involved. Because in the end, that's all what it comes down to. Look at the contract. And if that, like, Hollywood seems to be run on contract, so did you break the contract? Then that's it. Then just fess up and be like, yep, sorry, we messed up. Or, no, we feel we can get around it because of XYZ, prove it, and it's like, okay, then I guess you get it. It's horrible. It might be good, it might be bad. I don't know. We'll see how it all comes out in the wash. But again, we only get to see Scarlett Johansson sues Disney. And then the follow-ups that we get are like, Disney doesn't want to work with Scarlett Johansson anymore. And you're like, there's so much more. There's so much more to this. It's just a bunch of BS.
So all that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be a big thing because that's gonna... Emma Stone has talked about thinking about doing that too. And if this whole unprecedented or precedented times, whatever, it's going to set a precedent for how movies are released and how they need to write contracts in the future.
Yeah, there's always growing pains because laws and contracts will never move as fast as technology and the demand for technology. That's just the way. This is growing pains. This is part of the cost of business. It's not like this lawsuit is going to shut down Disney either. So
no, that's not what we're saying in any way, but we just thought we would discuss it as a brief sign up. Also, finishing up this whole section on Loki and the Black Widow thing, and then we're gonna segue into the next section. We're gonna talk about Assembled, the making of Loki, and doing Legends. So in Assembled, they did the Assembled for Loki a little bit differently, where they if you haven't watched it, go watch it. There's one for WandaVision and also for Falcon and Winter Soldier, all of which are interesting and intriguing. The Loki one, did you like it more that Tom Hiddleston was kind of narrating?
Yeah, I think he's kind of become the arbiter of the entire character. Like if you're talking about Loki, there's now two of them. There is the one from legitimate Norse mythology, and then there's the Marvel one. And so if anybody wants to talk about the Marvel one, I feel like you kind of have to talk to Tom Hiddleston. He's just kind of, by all reports, he's studied it so much that, yeah, okay. So the fact that he steps in and does the narration, cool, all good. I loved it.
Also, there's also one more thing we have to talk about in Loki. So it has come out, I don't know if this is still true, but it came out in the early days, right when they announced season 2, that Kate Herron would not be coming back. How do you feel about somebody else taking over to direct Loki?
Same way I would feel about this being the case in any situation. I hope we get something good. If a new person steps in to tell a new story, cool. Am I going to miss the fact that we won't have that same tone of voice? Yeah, but if the next person comes in and also contributes something good, rad. It's the Doctor Who effect. If anybody's a Doctor Who fan out there, they switch out showrunners and main characters all the time. And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you give it a little time, maybe it's got some shaky legs for a couple of episodes or something, and then you end up, you like this tone or you don't. And that's it. And you always know that there's something new coming up in a few years anyway. So I'm fine with it.
Okay. We have also been watching, Marvel released this little mini-series episodes called Legends, where you get to catch up with all the characters before you watch the show. So they have one on Wanda, one on Vision, one on the Falcon, one on Winter Soldier, one on Loki, one on the Tesseract. They also put out one on Black Widow, Peggy Carter, and what's the last one? S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, there was one on S.H.I.E.L.D. and there was also one on Sharon Carter, wasn't there?
Yes, Sharon Carter, because she made a little appearance.
That was not a little appearance.
Well, an appearance in...
She made an impact on the Falcon and Winter Soldier storyline.
Yes, we won't. If you haven't seen it, we'll talk.
Oh, that's the one thing we're not going to spoil.
We'll talk about that later. You can catch up in all the episodes here. But, so in the Legends series, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's fun. It's fun to catch up with the characters and see some key scenes again. Although, we talked about a misstep in when they did Peggy, right?
Which one?
How they...
Oh, yeah, they just kind of brushed off.
So Disney has, or Kevin Feige, or Marvel has said, oh, Agent Carter we're putting in the vault, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. we're putting in the vault. What was another one they were putting in that section of...
I don't know.
Like, this is the Marvel people, but we're not associating that.
Inhumans.
Yes, maybe Inhumans. And then when they did Peggy's version in Legends, they lifted a scene from Agent Carter and they're like...
Yeah, there were a couple of points, and there were a couple of scenes that I swear to God, they showed that never appeared in any movie or any show. Like, if they were deleted scenes or something like that, like...
Or if they were just, like, preview trailer things for Agent Carter. But if you're saying that that's in a vaults thing that we're not going to talk about anymore...
It would be nice to have some clarification on what is and is not canon.
Yeah.
Because it feels like they went pretty multiverse the moment S.H.I.E.L.D. started to do their time-jumping, reality-bending hooery. They should either all be dead from the TVA...
Yeah.
Or there was already a multiverse, or something. And S.H.I.E.L.D., for all of its missteps, was a good show. In aggregate, like the full picture of it, it was a good show. And that should not be denied. And Agent Carter was the best. I loved that show. It was so good. The fact that they're not really holding on to that as canon is ridiculous.
Yes.
My 2 cents.
All of it crazy. I mean, at least Haley Atwell still gets to be a part of it. The Marvel.
What if?
The Marvel Universe and such. And didn't they say? What did I tell you that Silva was?
The what?
Oh, I thought Silva was still in it, but then he's not anymore.
Oh, Sousa.
Sousa, yes. Because he had crossed over into S.H.I.E.L.D. and then now he's doing something else. And then what else? And then they're recasting Quake, which they already announced. And I was hoping that they were going to keep...
Why? No reason. Chloe Bennett's really good at that. Go, let her be Quake. Let her be Quake. It's a big deal.
I mean, you can make a whole new storyline, but Quake. Also, if you haven't seen or we haven't told you enough, we're fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. overall. The Quake storyline is good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now on... Where did my note go? I lost my note.
I'm going to take this moment to talk about Modok.
Yes,
Modok is great. Got to see that. That one's not on Disney Plus. That's over on Hulu. And it is just super fun. Super fun. It's Patton Oswalt as Modok, mental organism designed only for killing. And it's great. He has a family, like his wife, his son, and his daughter looks more like him than the wife, and so she might actually be a bit smarter. And it's so good just to hear Patton Oswalt scream and rant about all of everything. You have little guest appearances from Iron Man and it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. It felt like Marvel's version of Harley Quinn, the animated series that's going on over on HBO Max for DC. Not quite as adult, but you know, that a little bit more gloves off in the humor. And I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway, what were you saying?
I found my note. Anyways, so we'll talk about What If in another episode.
Once it's wrapped. We've only seen episode 1 at the time of this recording.
Yes, or only episode 1 is out, but we'll talk about that another time. They finally gave us a date for Hawkeye. Yay!
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Be thankful for
Because
Jeremy Renner shooting his way into your heart.
Yes, because that would be about the little bit of time between What If and there was nothing in October, and then we get Thanksgiving, and that runs into Spider-Man's No Way Home. I'm a little sad that there's nothing in October.
I am so ridiculously excited for Spider-Man. Anyway.
Which we still don't have a trailer yet. But
I thought I saw some leaked footage online, but I don't want to comment on it because I don't know how real it was, and if it is, I'm very happy. It's good. Looks good.
there are things online that make it look good, but there's nothing officially released by Marvel yet. And I also worry because I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of trailers around Shang-Chi.
That looks good.
So I have fingers crossed that that's good. But I don't know if it's just because I'm on social media a lot and we don't really watch real television anymore. Network television. So they're putting trailers everywhere
it's like
else.
so 5 minutes ago. Oh.
But yes, I'm excited for Shang-Chi, Hawkeye. What else? Oh, Eternals, which we've only gotten one trailer for.
What a trailer.
2, maybe. Maybe they're trying to time it out.
I'm sure. And who knows? They might have gone through something where they're like, wait a minute, plot hole! And then they've got to go and retcon something. Who knows?
And things like that. So that wraps this episode for now. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Leave your questions, comments down below. For us, make sure to follow Matt on his Instagram, I Make Reality. Make sure to follow me, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!